Everyone wants to know what happened with AJ Brown in that Eagles win over the Cowboys. He was targeted just one time, and the film had some important takeaways. Eagles were running Brown on routes breaking inside of the numbers, where the Cowboys' zone coverage was able to squeeze his space. Brown wasn't used as much on routes breaking outside of the numbers, where he could get those kind of one on one isolation type situations against cornerbacks that we're all so used to. Here we are on the second drive of the game on a 3rd and 3 early in the second quarter. Brown is at the top of the screen, is going to attack the cornerback, give a stutter, and then break inside. Rest of the concept is really meant to kind of space out the defense, get a little bit of motion, maybe you get some information before getting up the field, and you finish it off with your usual check down. If you look at, all right, well, what's the kind of logical way to maybe read this concept? I would say that isolation up top, we're working left to right in a clean manner. This would probably be an alert just in case you get some sort of look that you're really expecting or that you love, and then you finish it off with that check down. Defense here is going to be in a 3 deep or underneath type of zone coverage situation. So let's look, where do Jalen's eyes go on this play, taking it really slow if we're expecting him to read that space up top. To me, at this point, we've looked to the left here. If we see how much, like, Brown still has all of that left to go on the concept. So I don't think we need to be mad at Jalen Hurts on this specific example for now getting to your second read comfortably. This is a 3rd and 3 situation. That's a first down. That's a conversion. I think on the concept, maybe you say, can we time this up a little better? Does AJ Brown maybe start in here and run kind of a quick outbreaking route so we can really just work it kind of straightforward? Week 1 of the season. Okay, fine. That sort of thing I think can get figured out. You also see that linebacker working underneath Brown to the top there. Same drive, 2nd and goal on the 8-yard line. Concept to the top is going to be kind of a now slant from AJ Brown. It's going to be this sort of return route from the inside receiver, corner as well. Then to the bottom of the screen, that outside corner. And then to me, I think he probably has the option to like just hook it up or kind of break in either direction. Not 100% sure. I think if you look at this concept, the way that maybe the Eagles take it, probably a pick a side type situation where if you're picking the bottom of the screen, I would say running back 1, this is the 2. You're really taking, hey, I can win with my running back against this player. If you're choosing the top of the screen, maybe you get something like this linebacker like working here or showing you something. I would say probably being taught 1 here, 2 here. This may be your alert just based on what the defense is giving you. So let's see, where do Hurts' eyes go after the snap? He is clearly looking at the bottom of the screen here. I don't think there's anything telling you that, oh, you have to be looking at the top of the screen here. And also just look at AJ Brown's route. It's going to end up running right into this defender. That's not AJ Brown's fault. I don't think that's Jalen Hurts' fault. Hurts ends up making a really nice play in scrambling, but now we have 2 situations where we're running in breaking routes, and whether it's timing, whether it's, hey, we can get to something else confidently and comfortably with Hurts, where he is making plays, I think making the right plays. Still positive situations. Okay, fine, we're early in the game. This is the 3rd drive of the game, and there were some situations where I think maybe you could say, hey, there's a really, really tight window that you would ask Hurts to throw the ball to. This is a concept. The Eagles run this all the time. Outside in breaking route, inside deeper sort of rounded out breaking route, a vertical attacker, a deep curl, then your check down situation. I think that a reasonable way to think about reading this would be receiver first, tight end second. This is probably an alert or an aware. This is your 3rd one, and this is your check down. So when you look at it from the defense here, we have this sort of triangle dealing with these 2 routes. Let's see, where do Jalen's eyes go? Right, it's not like Jalen is ignoring AJ Brown. He's not looking at the concept at all, right? And I think maybe you say, hey, is Jalen like needing to throw in that window? I think you could maybe say that. I think it's a toss-up kind of situation, but I think if you're in his head, I mean, I would rather not be, because what I see is this guy that's about to break into space and get a pressure. But also, if we are eating kind of what's just going on in this triangle overall, if we see that this defender has eyes on us, he is not in a situation where he is like carrying this vertical at all. We are feeling this defender kind of getting out further and further. As we go slowly, we could maybe expect this guy to keep on going and then create a really, really tight window. Again, if you're going to fight and say, hey, this has to be had, okay, whatever. Fine. I'll give you a 6-yard throw going on drive three. Fine. But I think Jalen does a comfortable job. Let's just get to the check down and move on with that. Again, tight window, fine, maybe. There was a few on that drive where even if you said, hey, this is definitely 100% has to be a throw that Hurts has to make, which I'm not ready to say yet. That's like three throws for, maybe like 16, 18 yards again on those routes that are constantly breaking inside towards more of that zone coverage. This one is going to be a 2nd and 14 midway through the fourth quarter. Another in-breaking route. AJ Brown's at the bottom here. Taking the concept as a whole, we're really kind of clearing out space for what I think is probably a choice route for Devontae Smith. You could hook it up, maybe break it inside, maybe break it outside, just based on what the defense gives you. AJ Brown's going to run an in-breaking route with a kind of just like a holder or a route that's going to be able to hold the defense underneath. And look, I at a high level, having AJ Brown attack the middle of the field is lovely. Like that is a really, really positive thing. I think when it's the whole entire or when it's really, really the full plan, I think maybe that's when you sort of run into some issues. If we talk about reads for a second here, I think that you could say, there's probably an alert just in case. I think that you could say the choice routes first, just so you can work straight back to here to AJ Brown to that underneath type route there. From a defensive perspective, like we're seeing this sort of shape. Cowboys played zone coverage on like every single snap. I want to know, like, if I'm getting back to this side, is this safety hammering down, or is he just going to continue to get back? Because I feel like this in breaking route, I'm not like too concerned about this defender being there. I should feel pretty confident that my tight end is going to be able to hold down this linebacker. So kind of ignoring everything else, just looking at what is going on with the safety and Brown here. To me, when Brown is starting to break, like you can see already cleats in the ground, he's already starting to work forward. I think if the ball was thrown, a lot of times you'll see this throw kind of at the hash. I'll take it slow, but he's breaking downhill. It takes a little time for that ball to get there. I I guess I'm just okay with that. If you want to call it like this is something he has to throw, I think I probably disagree overall. And even like Hurts is looking at that the whole entire way. Like he wants this. He wants to get the ball to AJ Brown. It's not Hurts saying, "Oh, like I can't or I don't want to get the ball to him." If that safety is hammering down like this, I'm fine with him just moving on. It's an unfortunate situation, obviously, kind of in the result, 2nd and 14. Go ahead and try and live another day. Now, we saw a bunch of examples where we're kind of either maybe we're lined up outside, but we're breaking inside towards our zone coverage, towards another defender. This is like the prime example of like, I think this is a cheat code that the Eagles offense has where this one was a 2nd and 1 in the fourth quarter, 12 minutes left. So it's not like we're just on, we need to kill the clock drive. The Eagles are getting super, super heavy. And what does the defense have to do to that? Get super, super heavy. They need to load people in the box. We're moving a safety down. This is like, this is beautiful, right? This is kind of exactly what you want to have AJ Brown. I'm telling you, this is going to be a run play, so I'm sorry to spoil it. But 2nd and 1 to me in a situation where even if if this is an incomplete pass or this is a situation where you get to a 4th and 1, you can just run the tush push. I think that we'll see a situation in the future where the Eagles are getting to this look, and then we're running kind of a hard play action with Hurts, where Brown can really get there and attack you. Maybe you break it off. Maybe he's going to break it inside. Maybe he's going to give you the little stutter and keep on going. This is like prime situation, I think, where AJ Brown can really attack you outside the numbers. It ends up in just a run play. I would have loved to see in that specific situation. And that's one situation in week 1. I don't think that tells you the whole entire story about this season. Now, 3rd and 7, 4 minutes left in the fourth quarter. You're on that kind of drive to sort of ice the game away. Now we get AJ Brown to the bottom of the screen here in a little bit of a condensed set. He is going to kind of attack the outside part of the cornerback, and then he's going to end up running this comeback where, to me, he just gets open, right? Like this, I would personally call this open. Now, look, like this is not on AJ Brown. This actually, I don't think so, or maybe it's on, you can talk about the protection of the quarterback overall, but you can't expect this throw to have happened based on what this situation is, right? Just like what has happened here with the quarterback. He's already broken in the pocket. We've already moved on. To me, it at least shows like, all right, well, he's Brown. It like is getting open on what I would call like a good setup for Brown. Like if you look at the front, they're going to send this 5-man rush. They're going to break the pocket and have that looper over there. But if we're just looking at AJ Brown, because this is an AJ Brown video, right? That's the only thing we're really worried about here. Is like, okay, we've put him on the outside. We've condensed him a little bit. He's running that attacking outbreaker. We are now finally getting outside of the numbers. And look, they tried a few ways. There was like a 4-by-1 situation earlier on. They're trying to get AJ Brown the ball. They are trying different ways. He is open on this route. Like, this is something that they can do. I'm sure we will see it more in the future. Now, finally, 2nd and 8 inside the 2-minute warning. Similar situation, right? We're inside the numbers from a lined up perspective, but we're going to attack on an outbreaking route. Well, like, I mean, this cornerback, it's just such a tough job, right? You're going to naturally be lined up with outside leverage just because this receiver is inside. And then you have to respect any sort of vertical type threat. It's going to be a kind of quick outbreaking route here from a concept perspective. They're going to be running their kind of usual like shallow cross type situation. Get Devontae go over there. Gonna get that. You could probably say like, it just depends how you say it. Like, do you call this one or do you call this an alert? Either way, you're gonna get to Devontae next over the ball here, and then whatever's going on from the back. But we're just looking at AJ Brown. We're lined up inside the numbers, running a route breaking outside of the numbers. Would you look at that? That is a completion. Again, like you have to respect so many different things as a cornerback. That is a really, really tough job. Go ahead and get that. You're gonna put your offense in a decent situation. This is the last play of the game. They're gonna be running sort of double slants up here. They're gonna be, running their kind of usual, like, hey, we're gonna run deep curls. And then when Saquon ends up getting out there, he's also going to run a vertical from the outside. I really just want to pull this play to show that the Cowboys are doing a good job having kind of underneath defenders in zone coverage where AJ Brown was going when he was attacking. All I want you to look at is, okay, right. So this guy is right here. If I was to say, hey, I need to throw the ball in this direction, I think that's probably a tough situation. Hurts end up scrambling. You end up winning the game. So overall, I think that AJ Brown was used in a way where he is outside of the numbers, but you're breaking back inside. Then when you see him like really on those kind of end drives where he is lined up inside of the numbers, and now you're breaking outside of the numbers, that is a situation where it's just too hard for a cornerback. And look, I've said before, everyone would want the Eagles to attack the middle of the field. So I think that they did that or tried that a bunch, but the way the Cowboys were playing zone coverage was really stressing them out. This is week 1. This is not the entire season by any means. I'm excited to see what are the next steps forward. Is it going to be, you get some double moves going, right? Like that, I think could be a situation that could be positive, or just more creative ways in terms of your motion where you're getting AJ Brown stressing cornerbacks in different ways. So that's just week 1. Can't wait for the next one.